Hello and welcome. I'm Wise Old Tree, and this is a review of Dimension 20, Season 8, The Unsleeping City, Chapter 2. Starting with an overview, The Unsleeping City, Chapter 2 is a live play D&D series produced by Dropout and released in the end of 2020 and start of 2021. It's an 18-episode series, with episodes averaging around 2.5 hours apiece. As the title implies, it's a direct sequel and follow-up to Season 3's The Unsleeping City, continuing on in that world. This is also the second of the COVID-era seasons, with all the players on webcam once again. Brennan Lee Mulligan is the game master, and the intrepid heroes from Season 3 return: Zach Oyama, Emily Axford, Lou Wilson, Siobhan Thompson, Brian Murphy, and Allie Beardsley. Some of the characters from the first season of Unsleeping City are reprised here for Chapter 2, but some players take on entirely new characters in the magical-filled New York City that is the Unsleeping City. For my overall impressions, I'll start with the webcam situation. While still not an ideal replacement for real person-to-person interaction around a table, the webcam experience of this season is an improvement over the previous season. Players still occasionally freeze as pixelated nightmares, and bit rates for individuals can be all over the place, but it is an improvement over the previous season. A green screen effect is used on each of the players to give a visual uniformity, although the visuals tear around the edges of the players' cameras, like green screens are wont to do. Like before, I'll say that I don't begrudge anyone who finds webcam content like this a deal breaker, but if you're listening mostly to the audio or are more accustomed to watching 240p videos, then these technical issues are easy to look past. The combat encounters of the season still can't use sets or miniatures, but instead Roll20 is used for virtual tokens to track and display battles. It's a nice improvement over the theater of the mind combat style, especially for a season that's more combat focused. And it allows for some artistic expression in the tokens and backdrops that are used. The season roughly has the structure of alternating combat and non-combat episodes, but it's much looser than the first chapter. Combat encounters sometimes start in the middle of episodes or spill into following episodes. And it's not just the combat. Without the need to get to certain sets in certain episodes, roleplay is looser and more natural, allowing scenes to play out longer or meander more often than they likely could in previous seasons. However, more natural also means less focused. Even with an extra episode and longer average episode length, I still feel like more happened in Chapter 1 of Unsleeping City than Chapter 2, and I think a large part of this is the looser feel of the episodes overall. The story is a continuation of Chapter 1, but mostly for the characters and not really for the central plot. You could probably watch Chapter 2 without seeing Chapter 1 and be fine, or if it's been a while since you watched the first season of Unsleeping City, then I'd say you don't need to feel obligated to rewatch it before jumping into Chapter 2. The New York setting hits the same kinds of notes that the first season did. If you love NYC, then you'll have a lot to love here. But if you're like me and New York City is just a place that other people talk about, there's still a nice story and fun characters to keep your interest. For some seasons, it's hard to pick a standout PC, but for this season, the choice seemed obvious. Cody Walsh, played by Brian Murphy, absolutely steals the show. Cody is a mall goth hot topic manager who's angry as the mall shuts down, who then sells his soul the first chance he gets as soon as he learns magic is real. He's a goober and a loser with an undeserved inflated ego who can't stop making bad decisions. Murph and the entire table is in on the joke that Cody kind of sucks, which makes it all the funnier that Cody fails forward at every opportunity. As for a rating, I'm going to give Season 8 of Dimension 20, The Unsleeping City, Chapter 2, a 4 out of 5. This season is a fun follow-up to the Unsleeping universe. The overall story is good, but maybe not quite as memorable as the first venture into the Unsleeping City, but the player characters are as good or better. The virtual maps and tokens used for combat aren't an ideal replacement for sets and miniatures, but it's making the best of the circumstance. The webcam situation still is what it is, but the player-to-player interactions feel smoother and more natural than in the previous season of Pirates, and it's not much different than what you might expect from players being around a table. If you enjoyed the first chapter of Unsleeping City, then you'll be sure to like the second. All right, that's all for now. Thank you for watching, and see you next time for Season 9, Mice and Murder.